Before I left the Philippines, I remember feeling two things at the same time. Excited, so excited. New life, new country, new me. Pero behind those excitement, takot din ako. Kasi alam ko, malayo ako sa family ko at magsisimula ako from the scratch.
We're
I
here
thought that
in New
excitement would
Zealand
last
na.
forever. I was so wrong. Today, I'm going to walk you through my real 1 year in New Zealand, the highs, the lows, and the moments I questioned everything. This is my emotional wave, and maybe it's yours too. Phase 1. First impression of New Zealand. Parang nasa first world province ako. Konting tao, tahimik, kalma, everywhere I look, nature, like literal wallpaper. Back home, I would drive for hours just to see something like this. But here, it is just outside my window. And the people, most of them greet you. A simple hi, how are you, can genuinely change your whole morning. The culture here is also so different. They value their environment. They are straightforward. If they want to say something, they say it. No hidden meanings, no paligoy-ligoy. In that 1 month, I landed a job. 1 month after arriving, I could not believe it. That was such a huge blessing for me. It felt like God was saying, okay, ito na, nandito ka na talaga sa New Zealand. But here is what I want to be honest with you about. Even in the middle of all of this excitement, I was not fully emotionally prepared. God sent the right community and the right people who made my life easier. But emotionally, I was still figuring it out. And that is okay. That is real. Phase 2. You know that feeling when the novelty starts to wear off, when the vacation brain turns off and actual life begins. That is actually what happened around month 4. I started coming from work at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., or up until 12 a.m. Something I had never experienced back home. Physical work, long hours. My body was adjusting, my mind was adjusting. It was a humbling experience because here I had to deal with everything alone. My food, my laundry, every decision about what happens next. Wala magtatanong sa akin kung kumain ka na, ikaw talaga lahat. And on top of that, I was working and studying at the same time. The hardest thing to figure out was not the visa, not the job, not even the weather. It was how to deal with different kinds of homesickness and loneliness because they do not come the same way every time. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it hits you out of nowhere. I will just suddenly cry. All I had to do during those days was cry. And I learned that it's okay. The moment I started to feel more settled was when I had to work. I was earning enough to cover my weekly expenses. Yes, weekly. That was my new normal. And slowly, I found a rhythm. Phase 3. Month 7, I got sick. My body, it just gave up for a bit. Probably dahil nga hindi ako sanay sa physical work. And when you're sick far from home, usually hinahanap natin yung comfort food natin. But when you scan the Uber Eats, that hits differently. Kasi wala siya, wala siya. You can see that comfort food and even eat it. And then came my birthday. I celebrated it away from my family for the first time. I sat there thinking, is this the right decision? To miss every important occasion, every birthday, every Christmas, every milestone. That question, is this the right decision? I started asking it more and more. When you are looking for your own people, but everyone's busy and everything has to be scheduled. You cannot just call and say, Alika, gala tayo. That was the loneliest period. Not because I had no one, but because everything required effort to connect. Phase 4. You want to know what I miss the most? Jollibee! But I also miss my freedom. Back home, even without a car, I had 24-hour public transportation. I could go anywhere, anytime. Here, I had to plan everything. The bus stops at a certain time, everything closes, and some days that felt sad because coffee shops closes early. How did I cope up? I called my people way back home. I scheduled video calls. I set time aside just to connect with the people I love. And sometimes, iiyak ka na lang talaga. Basta cry it out. And I let myself. This phase changed how I saw New Zealand. because I started asking myself, is this the right place for me? Am I happy here? What does happiness even look like now? If you are in this phase, I want you to hear this. You need a strong support system. Physically with you, if possible, that is always better. But if not, video call. Build that routine of connection. And iiiyak mo lang talaga. Feel everything. Do not run from it. Looking back at this whole year, the one thing that surprised me the most about myself is that I was stronger than I thought. Nagiging matapang naman pala tayo pag wala ng choice at kung kinakailangan. It's like when the situation asks you to be strong, I was. When I needed to cry, I cried. A lot. When I needed a break, I took it. I listened to myself. Would I do it all again? Yes. 1,000 yes. But a roller coaster ride it has been. The emotions, the homesickness, the loneliness, they do not fully go away, lalo na pag malayo ka. That is the truth. But what I learned is this. You have to be honest with yourself. Feel the emotions, all of them, and then do what makes you feel better, not what looks better on the outside. And home? Home is no longer just a place on the map. Home is the place that allows you to grow and at the same time be vulnerable. New Zealand has become part of that for me, and so has the Philippines. I carry both. If you're going through your own emotional wave, whether it is migration, new chapter, a big life change, I hope this video reminds you. It is okay not to be okay. You are not alone. At kaya mo yan. If this resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe. I share honest stories about life here in New Zealand. And comment below what phase are you in right now. I read everything. See you in the next one. Take care of yourselves.